Hello everyone, I'm Luke Jackson,
And I'm Jared Peterson.
and we're here to talk to you about the vertical future.
After this video, you will have critical knowledge about the state of our planet, the disadvantages of modern agriculture, and a basic understanding of what vertical farming is. So what is vertical farming?
I'm happy you asked, Jared. Vertical farming is farming, well, vertically. A good way to describe vertical farming is through the word agritecture.
Agritecture is the application of architecture and design to build a living building.
This building would have inputs such as water, nutrients, and labor, and direct outputs in the form of crops, oxygen, and fish.
Did you say fish?
Yes, I did, Jared.
Anyways, with these farm buildings, one could produce mass amounts of fish, vegetables, and fresh greens utilizing the latest growing techniques such as hydroponics, as you can see behind me, and aquaponics.
So why would we go through all this trouble? I mean, wouldn't it cost an arm and a leg to build such structures that could sustain the growth of thousands of crops? How efficient would these farms be?
If cost is something you are worried about, when was the last time you visited the Horseshoe for an Ohio State football game? Well, since the initial construction of the stadium, $200 million has been spent, which would be enough for a massive vertical farm.
Vertical farming is exploding all over the agriculture world, and there are dozens of vertical farms being built as we speak.
Vertical farms are a must. Let me ask you a couple of questions. What is the number one pollutant in the United States? What is the main reason for deforestation? Agriculture is the culprit.
What are the three main reasons for crop failure? Weather, bugs, and disease. Everything we just discussed can be completely controlled with vertical farming.
And imagine if there was a vertical farm in each city that would provide for hundreds of thousands of new jobs.
Now let's focus closer on a few main issues with conventional farming practices and some benefits to switching to vertical farming or greenhouse farming.
The average vertical farm uses 88 to 92% less water than a normal farm would. This is due to the advanced irrigation hydroponic systems being used in recycled or gray water.
That sounds great considering agriculture uses 70% of the Earth's water supply, the fresh water supply. Can you believe that in the US our largest pollutant is agriculture? Because of this, we are forced to import nearly 80% of marine life. The pollution is caused by a variety of factors, including pesticides, herbicides, agricultural runoff, the running of large machinery, and food miles.
Didn't you say something about fish?
Trust me, I haven't forgotten. Aquaculture. This term is likely new to many of you. This is the breeding of marine life, like tuna, crabs, or king mackerel. Their living in the water provides the water with key nutrients that makes it ideal to grow with. And guess what is even better about this? The plants clean the water for the fish in a process called bioremediation, making the water ideal for them. More fish, more crops, Luke is happy.
But there's more than meets the eye here when we talk about pollution. The average miles traveled by your fresh food is over 1,200 miles. That is like traveling from Columbus, Ohio to the southern tip of Florida. This is a big reason we need to bring farming closer to our tables and in urban areas.
Understand that by the year 2050, more than 80% of the world's population will reside in urban areas, meaning that all of this food will need to be shipped there somehow. That is a lot of land and a lot of food miles.
We have the opportunity to begin construction of a new face to farming. History is in the making currently. Vertical farming offers top-of-the-line pesticide and herbicide-free organic fresh fruits and vegetables and garden greens on your table the same day as it was harvested. This brings a whole new meaning to eat fresh.
Now, I have a reason that is indisputable justification for switching to vertical farming or indoor greenhouse farming.
You comment here. Please share.
Giving back to the environment. I read a story once about a man with a 30-acre strawberry farm. He converted from a standard farming methods to a 3-acre hydrostacking method, which utilized hydroponics. He was able to obtain the same yield as the old farm and restored the rest of the land to forest.
Obviously, that's only 27 acres restored to woods, but you could have done anything with that. Make more strawberries, grow other crops, or you could build a big resort. There's endless things you could do.
We're focusing on the ecology here, not the economy.
One term used often when talking about conservation and saving the earth is reduce, reuse, recycle. When we treat these terms as standards for vertical farming, the results are out of control.
Reduce the amount of space you use for crops. Reduce the amount of water being used. Reduce the outside factors affecting the development and growth of the crops. Reduce the amount of farming equipment and the airplanes used for irrigation, and reduce the pest control. And
we reuse the water, and we can use gray water, which is filtered wastewater. Also, we can reuse abandoned warehouses or factories, parking garages.
And we can recycle plant waste to become feed for animals or other plants, or we can make mass compost piles from it.
In addition to the ecological benefits, we are talking about massive strides in food and consumer safety. In a vertical farm, the foods are grown organically without pesticides, herbicides, or diseases ruining the crops.
Also, imagine the amount of jobs that would be created, the amount of businesses that would benefit from purchasing from these farms. If vertical farms were implemented in cities worldwide, small business owners would have an opportunity to thrive. This, in turn, helps our economy in every way imaginable.
The possibilities are completely endless, and the ideas floating around on the web are incredible. Look at the technology and countless dollars being spent these days on a variety of things.
We must reevaluate our priorities as a society in order to move forward and stop leaving people behind in our waste and our fortune.
Finally, many of you may be wondering what exactly a vertical farm may look like. We don't have a direct answer for you, but we can take a look at some new and developing concepts as well as some real-life vertical farms.
Here is VertiCrop. It's a company out of England that promises 10,000 crops every 3 days being harvested. This 50-foot by 70-foot area, similar to the size of a basketball court, will be producing crops year-round at the output range of more than 10 football fields.
Here's a look at a few more vertical farms. Also included is the world's largest rooftop greenhouse located in Chicago, Illinois. This farm produces thousands of pounds of crops monthly and uses no space at all, just recycling the roof of a building that served no purpose before. As seen right there.
And this is actually a concept that is in the making right now for Toronto. And this vertical farm would be 38 stories high and produce for more than 300,000 people annually. Thank you so much.